Hello guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today's reading, what demon do you mirror? Alright, we have 3 piles to select from. We have pile number 1, or I guess groups, they're actually groups. We got group number 1, group number 2, and group number 3, okay? So, group number 1, group number 2, and group number 3. So those are our groups, and whichever sound or whichever one resonates with you, that is yours, and I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. So, what demon do you mirror? We have Burith. We have Burith, or Beal, or Bowfry. Okay? So, that is the demon that you mirror. Okay? So, in what ways do you reflect this demon? In what ways do you mirror him? We have Aquarius. We have Horned Owl. We have Brigid. And Snowflakes. Okay? I guess I should read to you guys, like, his abilities. Turns any metal into gold. Gives one high offices and titles. Answers questions about past, present, and future. Okay. The Red Soldier. Alright, so, according to the cards, in what ways you mirror him? You guys are both very powerful manifestors. You guys both are masters at manifestation and can create desired realities fairly quickly. And because of this, like, you guys are both very confident people. You're very confident in your abilities. You believe in yourself as a magician. And you also have a very intense power to command and control other spirits or beings. I thought about Reanimator, like the movie Reanimator. Okay, so necromancy. I'm pretty sure he does have some type of specialties in necromancy. But I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure he does, but you guys both share that gift in which you have a very strong connection to the dead, and you work best with the dead. Those are the best spirits that you work with, especially when it comes down to ancestors. And also, like, I thought, like, maybe perhaps, like, there's a spirit of some sort in your bloodline, or someone who, you know, had a partnership within your bloodline. There's a spirit of some sort who probably held a high position, and you can come to them for some type of help to move a certain project along. But I feel like that message is, like, for a select few people. Like, I just don't really see this as being a big message, but if it's something that, like, you are aware of, then it's yours. But I feel like it's going to be a small percentage of people that feel called, or I guess resonate with that message. But both you guys are masters at manifestation. You believe in your abilities, your potential. You guys are both very great at what you do. You guys are both great, talented magicians. And both of you guys like to spectate. You like to analyze your surroundings. And you're really quiet about your plans, about the things that you are choosing to do next, because you don't want other people's energies to interfere with the manifestations and, you know, plans at play. All right. So both of you guys like spectate quite frequently. Maybe you just enjoy analyzing people. That's just how you've been ever since you were a child. I feel like for some of you guys, it's probably because there's some type of neurodivergence, but that, like I said, this is a small message. But you guys enjoy spectating people and just analyzing how people are, because it helps you assess obviously your surroundings, but also, I mean, I guess that's just how you are, right? Um, Maybe also mimicking people, which is interesting. Like you can mimic people and behave just like them because you like to spectate. So that's interesting. I feel it's an interesting message. But overall, like you guys are very quiet about your plans. You don't let people know because no one needs to know. Okay, it's your situation, it's your plans. Like what? And with like the Brigitte card, it's like you also are very fluid in who you are. You know what I mean? Maybe that's also like the mimicking thing. Like I'm not saying that like you switch personalities to be other people, but you just have a lot of depth to you. You have a lot of different aspects of yourself that change all the time. Um and so perhaps it's just kind of like because you're constantly evolving and changing and developing and growing, you become different people quite frequently. Does that make sense? Maybe it's also like you write stories. So you have a lot of characters that also have an influence on your personality. Um, so that's also maybe the energy that I'm picking up on. Like you just write a lot of characters, and so you're constantly living as different people, right? When you're writing all of these characters, you're constantly playing as different personalities, right? When you're writing the characters. Um, but also maybe the whole entire like different personalities I'm seeing is also kind of like the spirits that you involve yourself with. You have a strong, I guess, magnetism when it comes down to the spirits that you work with. So maybe it's like your energy is kind of reflective of the partnerships that you have formed with other deities and spirits. That's why it's maybe a little bit harder to really assess who you are. And for Burith and you guys both just really like to keep your energy, I guess, closed off. You don't like to be read that deeply because it can seem a little bit dangerous to you, right? You just like to spectate, you like to be quiet about what it is that you're doing. And that's how you are very effective with your magic and your manifestations, because no energies can interfere, okay? And you just don't let people interfere with your life. You're very selective when it comes down to your partnerships, and that's how you guys mirror each other. You guys are both very selective with your partnerships. And with the snowflakes card, it's like you guys are also, I guess, like I said, you guys are very fluid people. You're here for the ride. You do have plans. I do feel like you guys are the people that plan, but like you're very open to what the universe has to offer you. You know what I mean? You can easily switch course whenever you feel like it isn't working out for you. You know what I mean? Like, I like kind of like thought about like Barbie, how she has like so many different careers. It's like you guys could honestly play as so many different like people. You could be a doctor one minute, a lawyer the next minute. Like your life is constantly evolving and changing and moving and elevating to just different levels, different heights, you know what I mean, all the time. And you're just a free spirit, you know what I mean? You're a free spirit, but like I said, you keep quiet about the things that you're doing because you don't want people to interfere, right? You don't want people to get on, you don't want their energy to get on what it is that you're doing, right? So you can constantly shift and, do different things with yourself. I feel like you guys have so many things lined up for you in this lifetime. Like I said, going back to that Barbie energy, it's like you have so many like paths and choices to take, and they all align with your divine purpose in one way or another. So don't ever feel like you're suffocating, or don't suffocate yourself and like stick to like one thing only. Like if you feel like you're suffocating in the path that you're, going down right now, then you can change. But always make sure that it's aligned with your divine purpose, aligned with who you are, right? You're constantly evolving and changing, so your world around you needs to constantly evolve and change along with that, okay? So, what's the history between you and Beale, all right? We have Fly. Be free to know that you are loved. Masked. honor your authenticity, friends forever, grow together individually, and familiar, bond with your spirit animal. Okay. So, okay, in past lives, you guys have had, a relationship together. Okay. And so I'm pretty sure he's appeared as like an animal within these lives, or even within your life right now. Maybe there's like a reoccurring animal or animals that you see. Like maybe you see crows all the time and they're constantly following you. You're just constantly seeing them and you're just attracted to them and they're attracted to you. Maybe that's how birth appears in your life. He appears as animals guiding you. And so I don't like see him though as a pet. Like I see him as just like an animal that can be found in the wild, because I don't think he would want to be claimed necessarily. So he can like appear as an animal, and perhaps throughout like, past lives he has appeared as an animal. And he's come to you to assist with your magic. But you guys have had a very like positive relationship. Especially with the friends forever. Like you guys have had a positive partnership, maybe even in this life. You guys are always you guys are usually always on positive terms. There's really never any like conflicts that I see within your partnership. I guess the only thing is just like, because you are very private about yourself, you seem to like mask yourself. You seem to hide. You seem to close off like the deepest parts of yourself to everybody, including the deities and spirits that you work with, because it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous to you to be completely revealing of who you are. And so I guess like within the partnership, within these lives that you guys have worked together, he's like, maybe you should work on revealing the more vulnerable parts of yourself. And also just being, what am I trying to say? What's the word for it? Being unashamed. Being unashamed of who you are. Does that make sense? So maybe within your partnership, it is, time that you're more authentic to yourself and not hiding behind, masks that you create for, people and deities and spirits. It's time that you feel more comfortable with him if you choose to pursue a partnership with him in this lifetime. And it's also about time that you guys, like, generally speaking, feel comfortable with being yourself around people. I know that you like to mask yourself to protect yourself, but you're really only suppressing. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you're like enslaving yourself. You're imprisoning yourself in this person that you have to be when you could just be yourself. Like, I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But you guys obviously have a very positive partnership with each other, and he loves you, and he for sure cares about you. He follows you through familiars, animals, and you can find him out in nature. You can find him wherever you go in nature, through the animals, birds in particular, I thought of. But he usually comes to animals to lead you and guide you along your path and journey. And even if you are ashamed of certain parts of yourself, he loves them and he honors them. So it's time to honestly, for you guys personally, I feel like you guys really need to work on, I guess honoring and cherishing more parts of yourself that you usually keep secret or just despise in some way, shape, or form. All right, so what message does he have for you guys? Okay. Apollo, divine message, butterfly maiden, beautiful change, and Kane, life force energy. Okay, so he's like, there's a lot of messages that are coming in, and I hope that you're keeping track of them and writing them down. That's what he's saying. He's like, you need to write down the messages that you're receiving, and also, I guess, don't ignore them. Especially if it's something that's reoccurring and you're like, I don't know, like, is this a message? It definitely is a message. So write it down. Keep note of it. Keep track of it. Your dreams are communicating to you. Also, time to get into music. For some of you guys, you've been wanting to play an instrument. It's time to go ahead and pursue that, because that could be healing in some way, shape, or form. And also maybe like it's a path that you could take within your life, music. So maybe, you know, guitar or like harp or something like that. Something with strings. I'm thinking about like something with strings. So maybe it's time to pursue music if you're really wanting to do that at this current point in time, but definitely keep track of the messages that are coming in, because there's a lot of divine messages that you're seeing right now. And as much as you think you can remember them all, you can't. So write them down, and you will definitely start seeing a reoccurring, I guess, pattern or message. Oh, and then going back to the bird thing. Remember when I was talking about him appearing as a bird? I just realized like that horned owl was there. So maybe he even like can appear as like an owl in some way, shape, or form. I just forgot to mention that. So I had to mention that. And then going back to his message, you know, there's a lot of change that is also, you know, taking place in your life, you know, with all these manifestations that are coming in. I guess he's just saying like, acknowledge that it's happening. Don't run away from it, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't see you guys as running away from it, but just like understand that like there's a lot of change that's going on right now. So there's this intensity of things that, you know, might fall apart, or things that might, you know, disappear, and that's completely fine. This is a part of the transformation. You're like going through an elevation in your life. You're evolving like you always do. You know what I mean? You're like constantly just changing and evolving and becoming the next person, you know, going into the next era, right? So this is just another one of those eras for you. And definitely this era really talks about being authentic to the true you. I know that you guys, like I said, like to evolve constantly, but I feel like there's also maybe partially reasons because like you just haven't really felt comfortable fully being that authentic you, right? Like I said, you guys are definitely the type of people to just evolve and change and be whoever you want to be. But like, I don't know, I just feel like there is just an aspect of you that you're just not comfortable with. And that's also partially why you guys are constantly changing. But I said it's partially. I'm not saying that's the full reason. Like, I hope I'm making sense here. Like, it is only partially that you are constantly evolving and changing because of the fact that you are afraid to be fully authentic with yourself and authentic with other people. The other part is just like you guys have a lot of paths and things that you know, seek to achieve in this life, okay? That's also another reason, okay? So, I know it sounds strange, I know it sounds a little contradictory, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing with the beautiful change card. Also, maybe like something didn't go exactly as planned, and there's a reasoning for that, because there's something better that is appearing. Also, some of you guys need to go sleep. Like, you guys just, your life force energy is a little drained. It's time to replenish that. So, you know, go out in nature and just spend some time just chilling, because you guys like to do a lot, and you don't ask for help because, you know, you like to keep private, you like to keep to yourself, you don't like to let people know what's going on. So you're a one-man band. After a while, you start to drain yourself. So make sure that you're getting rest, make sure you're getting, you know, proper food, and just make sure that you're caring for yourself, all right? So I feel like that's a message from birth. That's the demon that you mirror. And please comment down below what you guys thought. Feel free to subscribe if it resonated, donate to my throne wish list, and purchase me a nude sack. And I'll see you very soon. Take care and goodbye. Thank you, Birth, and thank you for watching. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. So, what demon do you mirror? You ready? We have Andre Elphus. Alright, Andre Elphus! I love it. Let's hop right into the reading. Oh shit, let me tell you what the hell he can do. Okay, you see? Teaches geometry and measurements. Increases one's intelligence. Can transform a person into a bird. Cool. I've always wanted to be a bird. Nah, I'm just playing. Well, partially not playing. Alright. Let's hop right into it. How do you reflect him? How do you mirror him? With Urania. Sisters of Harmony. Matcha. And the Coven. Okay, so you guys are both very intelligent. Alright, you guys are very knowledgeable. You know a lot of stuff, I feel. Like, you are talented. You're a master at a lot of things. Like, jack of all trades. You master things very, very easily, very quickly, okay? But you're very intelligent. You have so much wisdom. And some of it is just, like, untapped. Like, you have wisdom in so many different, like, places that you may not even be aware of. Like, there's so many skill sets that you can conquer, you know, whether that be artistic or... You know, just so you have so many skill sets, and I heard like finances, like really good with finances, banks, bank teller. Maybe some of you guys are a bank teller, or you should just like work in finances. Maybe be a personal financial advisor because you guys are just really good with. You have good strategy over handling money. That's what I heard. Also, maybe you just have like a lot of prosperity energy. You just like attract a lot of money very easily. So it's just something that you like are naturally able to handle. But you have like so many skill sets, right? And some of them you're not even like aware of. And I was just like thinking about like business. I was also thinking about like real estate for a second. You're just very talented and very intelligent, very knowledgeable in the things that you can do, and you also probably even have artistic skill sets that you've mastered, and some that you have yet to master that you will master. You're very quick to learn and to adapt, to also change as well. But I'm also seeing that you guys both work well with a lot of people, like in groups. Okay, maybe it's also because you guys have like a leader type of like aura to you. There's just something glamorous about both of you guys, especially since he's like a peacock, you know what I mean? So he has like all the feathers. It's kind of like you know what I mean? Like you have something about maybe even your appearance that just like attracts people. You guys both are just very glamorous, okay? Glamour magic. You guys both just like sparkle and shine, and it attracts a lot of people. You guys attract lots of people. You can attract clients is what I heard. Just even with the way that you look, and maybe also like with also the way that you wear jewelry for some, because I was mentioning like sparkling and things like that. You guys attract a lot of people, okay? So I feel like maybe you guys have a coven or are part of a coven, but it's giving like leader, supreme energy, okay? You guys like are the leader of a lot of things, a lot of groups. You're not to be led. You lead, all right? And you work really well with other people. Also like with kids, I thought of, maybe you just have like very good, like you have this just authoritarian vibe to you, and it makes people feel some type of sense of peace and structure. Especially like younger people, like children. You're just a person that people can easily rely on. And just know that you're going to come through, right? And you also are just like, you have protective energy, which is what people are attracted to. People are very attracted to just the protection, the safety that they feel around you. You know what I mean? You know what's up. You know, you are very knowledgeable with everything that you do. So therefore people feel like a sense of safety and protection when they speak to you or when they're working with you, because you're reliable. You know what's up. You know what's going down. All right. You plan accordingly. You can adapt to changes fairly easily. So, um, yeah, you're just a very, very structured person. Um, Also very logical. So you have King of Swords energy. So you guys are very, 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 very you guys are very intelligent people. And all the wisdom that you could ever seek is within. You guys are both very smart, very talented. Um and perhaps like you're obviously if you're really good with money, you're probably very good with math, right? So, you know, Andre Alphas, he teaches, math. He teaches geometry, shapes, and sizes. All right. So, yeah, you guys are like, I know I keep saying it, but you guys are very smart. All right. And people just trust you. People trust you as a leader. They're like, you know what's up, you know what's going down. We can trust you no matter what. And we know that the decision that you make is going to be correct, right? So that's what's up about y'all. All right, that's how you mirror him. What's y'all's history with him? We got Anunnaki, Tausetians, Syrians B, and Vegans. Okay, so perhaps there was like just I guess some type of controversy. What the fuck is going with my voice? Controversy that you've experienced in this lifetime or a past life. And maybe people have just accused you. I feel like this is more of like a witch trial type situation. You've always been like very smart and intelligent throughout the lives that you've lived. And you've always kept to yourself. And you've always had just like a very calm demeanor about yourself. Yet people have always been very attracted to you. So you've always attracted like groups of people, and that's something that you have become comfortable with over time. Maybe because of this demeanor that you've possessed in past lives, there are people who have been suspicious of you and have suspected that you've done some type of witchcraft in a past life. So perhaps there was controversy with that. And perhaps within a past life, or within that past life that we're speaking on, you worked alongside him. It's a very specific story. All I see, though, in particular is that just like you've always been attracted to his spirit and you have worked alongside him, but it's always been met with some type of conflict or, some type of, I guess, like fighting. People just don't really. I guess people are intimidated by the fact that you can work alongside the shadow and demons and things of that nature. And that's always caused some type of problem because, like I said, you guys attract groups of people. You attract all types of people because people love your demeanor, your energy, your intelligence. And so, not everybody is going to fuck with demons or so like that. And because of that, you haven't really had like time to just peacefully like just practice your spirituality without people just interfering or just like getting pissed. And maybe even when you were growing up, you were attracted to like the darkness as a child, what I mean? Especially if you spent a lot of time alone as a child and you were very solitary because, like parents weren't around or they just didn't have time to look after you. Um, maybe you've always like just felt his spirit was there, but you never really got to fully explore that, right? Because before you could, it's like, you're taught to like fear these people, fear these beings, right? And so you've never really got to fully, I guess, grasp that partnership opportunity with him. And it's been like this throughout many lives. People have always just been trying to interrupt your magic, your craft, because they just don't fuck with it, and they just don't understand it, and it's scary to them. But despite this, like, you guys have always like come back to it either way. Like, you don't let other people control you, so I think even despite these challenges, like, you don't let people control you. You don't let people shake the relationship that you had going between him in these past lives, right? And with the solitude and the peace, I feel like within this lifetime, you may be able to achieve that partnership again with him. You may be able to achieve a peaceful partnership that doesn't get interrupted or fucked up in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps within a coven. So that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, you've always just been interrupted because people are just obsessed with you. People need you. Like, where are you? Where are you? Where is group number 2? I need them. And they try to pry into your personal life and pry into your magic and shit. And then they get all spooked and stuff, and it's like, what? Just obsessed, right? People are obsessed with you. That just comes with the territory. Okay, I'm about to clarify a little bit of the conflict with the Anunnaki, right? The Anunnaki card, right? But you guys have always been like, just, you guys, I don't really think you guys have ever fully given a shit. Like, yeah, you've been like, there's been controversies around you and your magic and shit and your attraction to the darkness, but I don't think you guys have ever really like cared that deeply. You know what I mean? You're just like, whatever. Clarify Anunnaki. Clarify Anunnaki. Clarify Anunnaki. Clarify Anunnaki. Okay. Oh, freaking K. I don't know what the reversed is for the air. Because they'll have like 50,000 meanings in this goddamn book. 50,000 meanings in this damn book. That I still have yet to memorize. And I got this deck back in 2023. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see what it's saying. Alright, so mantis beings, okay, and we got air reversed and reptilians. Okay, like I said, like, people just, they're talking about, your craft and things like that, and there's been controversy around it, and I guess there's just like an obsession with people spectating you, just trying to see what you're up to, see what you're doing, and just there's this constant gossip and just persecution for you practicing your craft, right? That is like the biggest controversy. People have always just been obsessed with talking about your magic and just, maybe even in this life, people are like, what are you doing? Like, what's your practice? What do you do? It's like, are you a witch? What is that? Like, isn't that bad? People are just obsessed with you, with your craft. They're just infatuated because people are infatuated with you, okay? They just can't stop. Why are you so obsessed with me? People are just so obsessed with you. They need to always be in your energy field, right? And just constantly gossiping about what you're doing. That's just how it's been for all these lives that you've lived. Even with like the partnership that you've had with them, like, just people need to know, right? People always need to interfere in some way, shape, or form. And like I said, like, that's probably why you've just felt a need to just kind of like I said, you guys are very compatible with other people. You work well with other people. You are a group leader. But at the same time, it's like, you really have to take a moment and step back from people. Maybe you've experienced a lot of solitary experiences in your life, because of just the constant like sucking of energy that people need from you, right. So I hope that makes sense, because I feel like I was going somewhere with that. Yeah, there's just like this constant like sucking of energy. Like people always need to be in your energy field, right? Constantly sucking, constantly sucking from your energy, right? Because they're just obsessed, and it's just like your soul needs a moment to be alone. All right, so that's probably why you've had quite a bit of some solitary experiences in your life. Okay, if that resonates, it resonates. But I'm like I said, like I'm not saying that you guys don't work well with people. I'm just saying like you also need to have that balance where you're solitary and you just haven't really had time to like be able to practice your craft alone. Right, but maybe in this lifetime, like I said, like you're just gonna finally come to that point where you can practice peacefully, even alongside other people and lead other people. Because people have always tried to stop you from, pursuing your magic, and it's just like you're exhausted. See, it's just like the spectating. Okay, people just spectating everything that you're doing, just watching and just needing to see. Just so obsessed with your magic, okay? Like I feel like there's a grandparent or something like that for some of you guys. It's just like they just need to know. It's like you don't need to know. Okay? So let's see what advice he has for you. I hope that made sense. Like I hope I went into depth with that. Okay? Because people need you, right? People want you, they need you. All right. But like you guys can utilize this energy for good. Truly, like I said, you guys can be like a leader of a coven, or just like really like have people rally behind your purpose, rally behind your mission, rally behind whatever it is that you want, because people are always constantly obsessed with you. So really people are like going to bend over backwards and do what they got to do to be in your energy field, and you could really use that to your advantage. But obviously make sure that you're taking time, for yourself, because with that, comes some suckling vampires that just need that just need it from you. They just need to be in that energy, right? Anyways, so what advice does he have? All right, we have the gift, the path, and tiger. Okay, so you guys have you guys have come across a challenge in your life. Maybe you're going down a new path. Perhaps you're deciding to work with him, or you're just like I guess exploring something that hasn't been explored before. All right, see, people are, like I said, people are so obsessed with, spectating over you and just seeing what you have to do and what you're doing. People are so obsessed that you kind of feel this pressure where it's like, should I even go down the path that's calling to me? Should I do this? Like, I feel like this might like cause issues in my life. I feel like people are going to judge me. I feel like I'm just getting into something that I can't handle, but like, this is a part of your path. Stay the course. Like, if you felt called to do it, then do it. This is part of, your soul's purpose. This is what your soul's calling you to do. So listen, to what it's calling you to do. And even if it's like challenging in some way, shape, or form, you know what I mean? It's meant to be. So don't like try to like back away from whatever this is just because there's a challenge, or, other people might not fuck with it. You know what I mean? And with the tiger card, like you have to possess that tiger energy. You have to be strong. You have to be fearless, with whatever it is that you're going towards. You always need to adopt like this emperor energy, this like king energy, and go towards whatever it is that you seek to conquer, right? And especially if this has anything to do with your spirituality and elevating that, like you've been interrupted so many times in your past life. Let's get to it. All right, we don't got the time to wait around and wonder. It's like, if your intuition, if your soul's calling you to do it, then let's go ahead and do it, right? So that's the reading. All right, thank you so much for watching this reading. Thank you, Andre Alphas, for giving this message, okay? And feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, donate to my throne wish list, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care, and goodbye. I love you. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. So, what demon do you mirror? You guys ready? Andras. Okay. Soul of discord, slayer of men. All right, so let's hop right into it. Andres. Okay, the war. Okay, I was just, sorry. The war spirit. Let me be proper here. All right, so how do you mirror him? Like, in what way do you reflect him? We have transcendent amidst the everyday. Her little cauldron. Sweet Ostara harvest. And so ascending. Okay. So, what way do you mirror him? So both of you guys have just this divinity about you. Definitely in particular you have this divinity about you that seems to follow you in your day-to-day life, like wherever you go. There's just this magic that is constantly always coming to you, right? You attract so much beauty within your life, like so much just prosperity. There's so many spirits, I feel, behind you, right? Like you have an army behind you. You have all of these beings coming together to just help you, support you, uplift you, elevate you, right? And you guys don't fit in with society. You're just not like other girls. I'm just playing. You don't fit in with society. You just don't fit in with the people, right? Because both these cards like definitely highlight like being alone and just not really fitting in. Like with her little cauldron, it's like you guys are just very different. Like the way that you think about like life is different from a lot of people, and just the way that you choose to live your life is also very different from how a lot of people choose to live theirs. All right, like you're very creative with the way that you choose to go about your existence and your purpose, and a lot of people just don't really get it, right? And you're just like, whatever, so you just keep to yourself. And I feel like you being yourself and I guess aligning with yourself and yourself only, this is why you bring a lot of like prosperity and just good energy to your life, because you're always like aligned with your mission. You know, you don't really fall off course. Like you're just not really that type of guy. You're usually always, you know, on course. You'll have a moment here and there, but like for the most part, you're usually always on course because you just don't fuck with like the distractions. You just don't get distracted like that, you know? You're always pretty much locked in on what you got to do. So you're very different from a lot of people, and very unique. The way that you choose to dress yourself and the way that you choose to just live your life is just, it's unique. And that's what's really cool about you. That's what's really magical about you and your life, is that you do it on your terms. You do it however you want to do it. You know, you don't fit into the defined, I guess, person that this world wants you to be as soon as you like graduate school, right? You're who you want to be. You take your own time. Everything happens on your time, not anybody else's. And so that's what's really cool about you. And because of that, you know, you can command the world in your favor. Everything bends to your will. So that's kind of the energy. And then with the Sweet Ostara harvest, I kind of thought about it. But like when I first pulled it, I was like, okay, so I believe that that the reason why you mirror him is because like you guys are soulmates in some way, shape, or form. So you guys like share pieces of each other, kind of like twin flame shit, you know? You guys like share pieces of each other. And that's why you guys mirror each other so closely. And I guess like we'll get into that because I feel like there's some cards that like really like clarify it, right? Clarify it. With the so ascending, you guys, like I said, you spectate over like this world. You're not really like a part of it. You're in your own world, okay? You follow your own rules. You listen to yourself and yourself only, right? And so you might not have a lot of friends, just might not have a lot of people in your circle, and that's fine. Because like You don't need that. Like you don't need 50,000 people up in your space, right? Let me quit playing around. No, seriously though. Like you just don't really need like people to have a divine life, okay? Like I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's wrong to have like friends and things like that. Like you can. And I do feel like you will attract a lot of like people that like fuck with you and like just they're on your energy level, right? But for the most part, like you're not really around a lot of people because it's like they just don't fit with your vibe. They don't fit with your energy, right? And you got divine things to do. You got divine purpose to follow, divine mission, right? And you just can't be getting distracted with that cringe shit, right? So let me quit playing around. I feel like I'm joking around, all right? So what's the history of you guys' relationship? Okay. Your guides. The world is yours. Father. And courage. Okay, so he's a spirit guide of yours. So he's always been around. He's always been guiding you through, I guess like he's been guiding you through your life ever since you were a child, ever since you came to this earth in this lifetime. And he's been here for many lifetimes. So it's not like this is something new, you know? So he is a spirit guide, and you can always go to him and talk to him when you need to, especially if you're feeling sad, if you're just going through shit. He's always available to talk to. And he's helped you achieve quite a bit of some manifestations in recent times. Like, I feel like maybe there's something that's coming in. It's at your doorstep is what I'm hearing. Or maybe it's going to arrive at your doorstep. Like it's a package or something that you've been trying to manifest. So he's helped with that. And he's helped you also just like understand the abilities of your manifestation throughout these lives that you've lived alongside him. You really have to think of yourself as the war general of your life. You conquer and control everything that is in your path. And you can't sit up here and think of yourself any less of that. Any less of anything lesser than that? All right. You know what I'm trying to say. All right. And you guys obviously have a very loving, close relationship. Especially with the father card, like there's father energy. So I feel like for the most part, like if you feel concerned about reaching out to him, or like you're like, I don't know if I should reach out to him, well then don't be afraid, because he has a very loving, fatherly energy towards you. You guys are soulmates. And so therefore he's going to take care of you and lead you along this path. You don't have to be confused. But within these lives that you've lived, and maybe this life, you've had to build up that courage to face the darkness and work alongside these demons, you know, especially him. And so I understand, like, it can be very scary because of the way that people look at demons and look at the darkness and look at the shadow. But what is there to be afraid of if he's your spirit guide and he's taking care of you and you guys are connected, linked up, soulmates, right? Like, what is there to be afraid of? All he teaches is how to really maximize your potential as a magician. So, like, what is there to be afraid of? Like, it doesn't require a blood sacrifice. Like, you don't have to, like cut you don't have to, like, cut yourself open. Like, it's not that serious, right? You know, like, I just feel like people are looking at it from a perspective of just, like, a theatrical perspective is what I'm trying to say. And that's the perspective that we're seeing all the time online. It's like, if you talk to the demons, they're going to grab you and they're going to ask for a sacrifice. It's like, but that just never happens, okay? Because not once in the time I've been working with the demons have they ever sat up here and asked for a sacrifice. They may have asked for offerings, but it doesn't have to be like a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like, it doesn't have to be that. So, but he cares for you. And you don't have to be afraid of him, and you don't have to feel anxious when it comes down to talking with him, because he's a spirit guide. So you don't have to feel like you're bothering him, or that you have to give this like grand offering, you don't have to, because you guys are soulmates, and I mean, you guys naturally are compatible with each other, right? Right. He just reminds you that like you can do anything you want to in this world, and if you feel called to manifest something, achieve something, you can. But you obviously have to have, this like self-fortification. You have to be fortified. So, yeah, he's your spirit guide, and he's guiding you. He's been guiding you for a very long time, and obviously he has that fatherly energy. He gives you the advice that you need, and he's always been a spirit guide to go to within all of the lives that you've lived, all right? Because you guys, like I said, are soulmates, so it's like every lifetime you will find each other, right? So definitely, if you're resonating with this, like, time to get connected if you aren't already, because he's been here for the lives that you've lived, and will continue in the lives that you will continue to live on this earth if you come back to this earth the next lifetime, right? Okay, so that's what I'm getting with that. Okay, that's you guys' history together. Okay, what advice does he have for you? I pulled 4 cards, which is strange because I don't usually do that. But okay, we have Allah, grief, Mabaya and Nehanda, radical rebirth, and Asasaya, joy, and Mamiwata, naked. All right, let's hop right into the message. You guys have gone through a little bit of a troublesome period. I think I mentioned that when I was talking to you guys about like reaching out to him. Like, if you feel like you're struggling and you don't know who to go to, you can go to him. Anyways, so you guys have been going through like a just like hard time in your life, and it's been very distressing. Maybe you're just confused about where to go. And like I said, you guys are not really the type of people to like steer off course. But this is just like a part in your life where you have to transform, where you have to rebirth and get vulnerable with yourself, with your purpose, with your magic, with who you are, with your shadow. And it's scary. And you're confused. And, he says like you need to be unafraid to be vulnerable with me, because I have guidance that you need to hear, but you mustn't be afraid to go to the altar. You can't be afraid to face me, is what he says. Maybe like even in dreams and things like that, like you guys just have this like blockage that's up because there's like fear. There's a fear of being like vulnerable, or there's also just like a fear of like just maybe fully letting him in the picture, even if like you guys have a partnership with him already. So he's just like, get comfortable with being vulnerable, because I can only help you if you're willing to knock down some walls, right? And just understand that like you can get up from this, and this is never game over. It's never game over. You can always change and evolve whenever you want to. So, and with joy, he's like, don't worry. Like, there's better days that are coming ahead. Like, you just gotta get reconnected with your divine purpose. You gotta get reconnected with your soul. You know what I mean? Your intuition's telling you exactly where you need to go. You just got a little bit confused, a little bit lost. All right. But it's never like I said, you've never steered off course. You might get confused. You might be like it might get a little blurry, but like you've never steered off course. So just trust that everything is okay, and trust that you're being divinely guided, divinely cared for. And there's going to be some great days ahead. There's going to be a lot of fun memories soon to be made. and, you know, great people that you'll soon talk to, and maybe a new job opportunity for some. It's like there's a job that's coming. But I also like see vacations. So that's what I'm hearing from the message, right? So I feel like that's it, right? Like, is it all? Yeah. All right. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching this reading. All right. Click subscribe. Click the like button. Donate to my throne wish list if you felt it resonated. Comment down below if it resonated. And I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, Andres, for the message. And thank you for watching. Take care. And goodbye.